to even consider that bitch. To just consider. But guess what? Y'all both stupid. Y'all both fools. Y'all both degenerates. And I'm just like, look, people will look at that and be like, oh, they so happy. Man, they fighting all day, every day, 24 hours around the clock.
They barely get to see each other.
Yep.
And if I can take a quote from the rapper Nino Brown, motivational speaker, that's what I see it as. Right. When it come to friends, he said when it come to friends, he'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies, bro.
Straight
That's
up.
some of the realest shit ever.
Straight up.
I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe if Offset was from the west side of Atlanta, he would have knew better.
Yeah.
Everybody know you don't fucking cuff no damn stripper. What the hell?
They do it anyway.
Cause they got money, they too stupid.
I don't, and you know what? I guess it's just we're in a different mind frame. But if you got this money, you got passports, and I'm going somewhere where it's order and get me a woman. Fuck.
I'm gonna buy me a virgin.
You know?
You say what?
I said I would buy a virgin.
Yeah. No, T.I. he from the west side of Atlanta. Look at this woman. She a thought.
Yeah. Yeah, and guess what? She had her own money too, so nigga can't tell her shit.
Yep, and that you asking for trouble. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You gotta be the leader. You gotta be captain of the ship.
And this time, and these days, they ain't into that shit. I have one real quick. This is Philippians chapter 4 and verse 11. Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content. You know? And that's one thing this truth, you know, teaches you to be content, man. Like, cause you see a lot, and you privy to a lot, and shit can always be worse, man. Like, you know, you learn never underestimate the Most High, man. He could create some. Look at what happened to Job, man. And he was just being tested, you know. He was just being tested. The Lord, nobody, and a lot of times the men of the Lord had a lot of tribulations just for that, just for bringing the word out, man. Like people don't like to hear that, man. People don't like to hear that, man, because it cuts, like the scripture said, two-edged sword, piercing the joint and marrow. Yeah, I don't want to butcher it.
What's that? Hebrews 12?
12.
And
Is it 6? 26.
I'll read this real quick, because going off what you said about the quarters and pennies, just made me think of it. Sirach 6 and 6. Be in peace with many, nevertheless have but one counselor of 1,000. So you could be at peace with many, but it's best to have your circle small, put it that way. Only those who really, care about you. You know what I'm saying? If they don't fear the Lord, man, you know what I'm saying? Hey, the scripture says, man, you got many friends when you're rich, man. But the second that money goes away, is, who art thou? You know what I'm saying?
And
that's women. That's women. And that's why the idiots can't stay away from the women, because they get all this money, and they may have had trouble with women, but all the women just flock to them, and they think that they actually like them because of their personality. No, they like you because of what you can give to them. You know, I would go to a foreign country and play poor just to find me a humble woman, you know?
Yeah.
And then I'll say, hey, here's what I got, you know? But I proved her first. So,
You somebody that's used to nothing.
And bring her back here.
oh, no.
Bring her back here. This is Hebrews 4 and 12. For the word of Yahweh is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the hearts.
That's why when dude was sitting right here and you cut him with Ishmael was Abraham's son, but Jacob was the chosen one, and he was saying no. Jacob is the father of the Arabs. Man, let's get into these scriptures then. He had to get on across the street to go, no, now you want to see if they're going to give you some free food, huh? First you want to see it. They ain't going to give me nothing for free. Your ass came out the house knowing that shit.
That old one is Sirach 28:17. The stroke of the whip maketh marks in the flesh, but the stroke of the tongue breaketh the bones.
Yeah. And that saying, oh, sticks and stones can hurt my bones, but words will never break me. Like, shit. When you know what to say, like, especially like in these scriptures, like, you can make somebody cry with it. Like, it's been done. Like, we all witnesses. We all witnesses.
Multiple people cry.
Call the police, like, damn, I ain't did nothing to you, but explain. Hell, I even got you know, it's a thing I heard, you can get charged with verbal assault, causing mental anguish just because you saying something that somebody don't like. That show you how weak this place is, man. This is a fucking queendom, man. This is a queendom. You could be saying the right things, and because somebody don't like it, he said something I don't like. Like when we was children, you would get beat the fuck up for that shit. Like, are you trying to tell? Like, I wasn't even nothing to tell on. Hell, your parent might whoop you. Boy, that wasn't nothing to tell on. I'm finna whoop your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, this place has created this though. Weakness. You know? But that show you what the rulership is. Weak.
I used to be a little tattletale when I was a kid. My parents kind of cursed me out. They said, we tired of you telling us. Like simple shit. Like my dad be like, man, somebody drank my wine. I'd be like, oh yeah, that was such and such. He's like, hey man, shut up. Yeah. He got mad at me sometimes. I was like, wait I thought I was doing a good, you know, when he was teaching you, like, look, that's your brother. You know, sometimes you ain't got to tell everything. I'm like, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
The society's weak as fuck.
You know, you learn and grow and you like, damn, like, you kind of miss the old days, like, you know, shit. When, you know, you never thought things was going to get this far out of hand, but it has to, for prophecy's sake.
It's only going to get worse.
It's only going to get worse. The Future had a song. It's only going to get worse. I think it was in like 2012. It's only going to get worse, so that keep your squares out your circle.
I never liked Future.
You know, it was a different point in my life, but you know, that's about one of the realest things. It's only gonna get worse. Like I that always play in my head. That part of the song is only gonna get worse. So you know, keeping that in your mind, you can take this little shit on the chin.